Hey guys, my name is Eddie, one of the owners and lead instructors here at Barefoot Flyers PPG out here in Fernandina Beach, Florida. I'm currently sitting on a Zenith Fly Products trike, Cosmos 300. We have two of them here at the school, and I have well over 400 hours, probably 5 years of flying this particular style trike. We love it. It's done its job. We've had great success with it. The motors are, we got one motor here that got pushing 400 hours itself. They're just workhorses. They work. They just run. Put oil and gas in them and they run. Here at the school, we do a lot of trike tandems, and the location that we do them is at Fernandina Beach Airport. It's a restricted LZ, and what I mean by restricted is it have short takeoffs and short climb out. This isn't Lake Wales. We don't have a mile grass speed holds. We don't have that here. So when we have those high density altitude days and we have heavier pilots or passengers, it can get a little unnerving. We can taxi and literally all the way to the end of our LZ before we finally get off the ground, and then we have a very short climb out. And a lot of times we have to make sharp turns lower than we would like to because of those long taxis, especially when we have bigger. We just don't it's great for what it does. But when we're up there in those, I'm 200 pounds, and when we're carrying we get a passenger that's 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, depending on the day, it can be a little unnerving. I used to be very excited about flying tandem trikes and taking people up and sharing this fort with them and doing in-flight drills and things like that. And I lost a lot of that excitement. We have two of these Cosmos that at some point you need to put a bigger motor on it. What we were going to put on it, we didn't really know. And then we got this unique opportunity. We got a call from a guy named Brody, him and his wife from Ohio. And he had called around to a bunch of different schools and was trying to get training. They wanted to get trike training. All the schools turned him down. They just didn't want to deal with him, or they would blow him off. They wouldn't get back to him or whatever. And I think a lot of that had to do with it. He's 310 pounds and he's 6'6". He got a hold of us. This would have been the biggest individual that we trained. We made it clear to him that this is going to be a learning lesson for us too, and also him. So we got a hold of one up and got Travis Burns involved. We let him know the situation and this guy's height, weight, and all that, and he recommended the Zeus. And I knew if we commit to training this guy, because when we do trike training, that also means we're taking him up on tandas and going through in-flight drills, pattern work, oscillation control, throttle control, emergency procedures, all these things. We go up and we fly with them, and we go through all this stuff with each one of our students. When they're ready to solo, we know they're ready and they know they're ready. And I knew Conor being 240, me being 200, I'm going to be stuck with Brody. I knew it. I was nervous. I wasn't excited. I'm like, man, I'm going to have to take this guy. And I just wasn't convinced yet. I was questioning. I think I was even asking Conor, how much of a difference can it be? The Cosmo, it better be night and day, because there's times that I couldn't even imagine me being 200, Brody on the front at 310, taking a 300 pound. I'm like, this thing, it better be night and day. We talked to Brody and we went ahead and got it shipped here. And when we first got it here, I think me and Conor were both extremely amazed. Just looking at the motor, it looked it just looked like quality parts. I looked at a lot of paramotors, engines and stuff, and this just looked like it was using top of the line parts. It just looked solid. It just looked like it was all made of steel. It just looked indestructible. And that was the first thing that stood out to me that was very impressive. And then when we turned it on, wow, the way it sounded, how smooth it was. And it just sounded so masculine. That thing sounded like a racing dirt bike. It was just, you wanted to sit there without ear muffs on and just listen to it, because it just drew you in. You're like, you just wanted to hear more and more. It was just that impressive. But I was still nervous. I still wasn't convinced. I was still like, man, I was hesitant, hoping Conor was going to go, hey, I'll take Brody. I knew he wasn't, but I was the lighter one, so it made more sense for me to do it. And I remember the first day when we got out there, the first day we were going to be doing tandems. We had full tanks. I was 200 pounds in the pilot seat, Brody 310. I remember sitting on the runway there, doing my final checks, getting ready to bring the wing up, and nervous, just thinking, oh my God, man, I hope this... Just not really knowing what to expect. I knew what the Cosmos was capable of doing. I knew what it wasn't capable of doing. And like I said, I had lost a lot of my excitement about tandem trikes just because, I felt like, I'd been on many flights where I was underpowered, and there's nothing fun about being underpowered. It can be a little unnerving when you're underpowered. I remember bringing the wing up, approaching it just like I would with my Cosmos. I brought it up, rolled onto throttle, and went full throttle. And as soon as I hit full throttle, we weren't lifted off the ground. I would like to use the word plucked. We were literally plucked off the ground. There wasn't even a taxi involved. We got plucked. It caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that. And I was in full throttle, and the climb out was just, I was just smiling ear to ear like, you gotta be kidding me. Oh my God, this is amazing. I couldn't believe it because, like I said, I wasn't sold. I didn't truly believe that it was going to be that big of a difference. And oh my God, it wasn't more. Not even a close, the Cosmos isn't even a close second of what that thing was capable of doing. The payload that thing was capable of handling was just, it was amazing. I couldn't even believe it in flight, how smooth it was. When you went to idle, you didn't even know it. I mean, it was just how smooth, little vibration, just how smooth it was and how much power it had when you needed it. I found myself as we were going into Tandem Flight 2 and Tandem Flight 3 and 4, I was approaching it a lot different now that I realized it's night and day. I would bring the wing up, roll into about quarter, half throttle, or I'd back off to about half throttle, taxiing and taking off at somewhere around half to 3/4 throttle. I never needed full throttle. And that was with Brody on the front, 310 pounds. And that was no wind mornings, right at sunrise. It was amazing, insane. I couldn't believe it. I love tandems. I love taking people up and working with them and sharing this amazing sport with them and stuff. But like I said, I lost a lot of that excitement. I was getting too many flights where I was being, I was underpowered, and it can be a little disheartening when you don't have enough power. I can't even think of a situation with that Zeus where you would ever need more power. That thing blew my mind. It definitely got me excited again about tandem trikes, especially where we are. Like I said, we have a restricted LZ, so we don't have a lot of area, and we get a lot of bigger boys that come in here that want to go up on flights, that want to experience it and see if it's something they want to learn to do. To have something like the Zeus, that's our next goal for sure. I think me and Conor both fell in love with it. I didn't believe it at first. I was skeptical. I'm like, there's no way. It can't be that big of a difference, especially when we're looking at, how big Brody was. And when I seen him in person, I'm like, oh my God. This is a big boy. You look like a linebacker. If you were like us, go to one up. Just experience it because it will literally blow your mind. If you're thinking like you're underpowered, wanting to get in something bigger, and you're doing an operation like we are where you're taking people up on tandems and you're getting bigger boys in, I can think of a million reasons where that Zeus would come into play, where it would greatly benefit. High altitude, hunting trips, tandems like we do. Replace one of the motors on one of our Zenith trikes. And we're going to put, I think they have a mounting plate for it. So we're planning on putting the Zeus 300 on one of them, probably on Conor's. It's not just something we want, it's something we need. And we need something a little bit more commercial grade that gets the job done better and safer. And the Zeus definitely does that. Like I said, you will not be wishing for more power with that Zeus. You just won't. It does everything it needs. So yeah, I mean, that was my take on the Zeus. Like I said, I was impressed. Thank you, Travis. He definitely didn't mislead us. Like I said, I was a little skeptical, but we were thoroughly impressed with that, and it made our trike boot camp so much fun because every morning we got to go out, and it's like, oh, I get to fly the Zeus. I'm gonna fly the Zeus, and and then when he left with the Zeus, we went back to this, and yeah, I still love it. The Cosmos is great. The Zenith with the Cosmos, it is great. But, once you get on that Zeus, it's addicting. It's addicting because you want that power, fall in love with that power and the smoothness and the way it sounds, just everything. So I hope you guys enjoy. That's my take on it. And we're excited. We can't wait to get one. We're hoping in the next year, now we would have the best of both worlds. We got a Cosmos 300 on a Flybobics trike for the lighter pilots. And then we had the Zeus 300 on a Zenith Flybobics trike for the bigger boys. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys. I hope that helps.